Hey, thanks for agreeing to meet, here at the diner. If you're like me, you've seen something you shouldn't have seen, and the mob, well, they're coming for you. You and me, we gotta stick together, we gotta find a way out of town. No, you won't be alone, I'll be there with you. That's a good thing. Isn't it? Anyways, we better start heading out of town. It's gonna be dark soon, and that's when all the crazies come out. We gotta find a way out of here, you and me, together. We gotta find a way out of Mantis Falls. Hey folks, welcome back to another HP Gaming GameLINK video. As I said in the tease, I am super pumped to be able to bring you an unboxing of Mantis Falls by Distant Rabbit Games. This is one I have been super pumped for. It is a social deduction game without the social. What do I mean by that? It's a game that is for 2 to 3 players, and that is it. Very, very excited. For those of you who don't know me, and you should by now, my name is Matt, and I'm here to show you all about what is inside the box of this Kickstarter, Mantis Falls. I really can't wait. Let's get down to the table. I'll show you what's inside and a little bit about how it works. Super pumped. Trust no one. And there she is, Mantis Falls, a game of trust like life, a cooperative game that's only really cooperative sometimes. Now that's the big indication there, because it's a 2 to 3 player game. Sometimes you'll be working cooperatively, sometimes you won't, but you won't necessarily know which game you'll be playing until the reveal at the end. I'll explain a bit more as we go into detail. For those of you that know a little bit about this one, for those of you who may even have played it, I'd love to hear in the comments what your thoughts are. Plastic, of course, goes on the floor. I am super pumped for this. The idea of playing a game that has the social interaction of something like Secret Hitler, but with 2 to 3 players, that's the biggest problem with social deduction games. Usually you need a huge amount of people, whereas this one, you literally can play it as a couple and, assassinate your partner in the process, which is kind of appealing as well, I guess. What I do love about this, I'll just quickly re-box that one, only because the back of the box has this beautiful, there's this sepia tone thing, and then the reds and everything else. It's really, really rich, even though it's not. The sepia tone noir-esque of this game is just awesome. Sleeves, that's very cool. Always very nice to have sleeves for the game. Fantastic. And there is a map on the liner. This is Mantis Falls. Welcome. There's a road out of town. I just love the detail. I believe there is playmats in here as well. That is fantastic. Talk about content and everything else. I love it. Let's pop this, let's pop that up there out of the way for now, because there is plenty of stuff to get through. The rule book itself, very nondescript, which I kind of dig. A game of trust, unless it's not. So you can see here, there's a Triad module for 3-player games. This is two-player game. In this manual, rules specific to 2-player games are in red boxes and so on and so forth. Bit of a brief overview, which is why you had that crazy accent that I did a bit earlier. Full circle under the rose, how to make it work. The components, playmats, included add-ons, the playing pieces, all that sort of crazy stuff. And there is a learning curve to this one as well. I think the learning curve for this one is going to be based on how well you know your opponent and how they might play the game. So that's going to be pretty crazy as well, I think. Just pop that one up there out of the way. Now, we've also got here what looks like the action card compendium. Now, this is cool because this is going to allow you to if you have any disputes on how cards should be played or how they're meant to work, this compendium is going to have that in spades, and it's got that same symbol. The quick reference on the back of the manual also has that as well. The last gasp, oh my gosh, depending on whether or not you're getting assassinated. And that's the beauty of this game. You just don't know whether the person playing opposite you is out to get you or, is going to be trying to help you. I love that this is a comic book as well in parts. This talks about the different usefulness of the cards. There's lots and lots and lots of different things you can use. Desertion. Wow. That's for a 3-player game. Whole pages dedicated to cards. Wow, there is lots of different strategy there. I love that. That's so good. So many. And then, of course, finishing with the comic book as well is just brilliant. I love that. All right, so now, yeah, the comic book, that's fantastic. I love it. Now, we've got all the cool bells and whistles in here. I have got, this is a Kickstarter bonus ally card, community, the people that bring things to life. Now, this one is specifically as a thanks for all the Kickstarter backers. After the other player places cards down for a last gasp play, but before they are revealed, you may return community to the ally deck to heal one of their wounds. Because that's the thing, as far as I understand, if you're working together as two witnesses, even though you don't necessarily know each other's identity, the goal of the game is for you to both successfully leave Mantis Falls together and alive. Whereas if one of you is the assassin, your goal is to obviously kill the witness. We're going to get this silica gel out of here. You could use that to kill somebody if you're an assassin. We'll just chuck that on the floor. We've got a whole plethora of crazy stuff here, which I'm just digging. Oh my gosh, so many cards. Let's have a look. Action cards, role cards, event cards, the Triad module. Now, I think that's specifically for 3-player games and also other bits as well. There's life trackers, last gasp reference cards. It is predominantly a card game, but I am digging that. Let's go through here. We've got a bag for all the pieces, storage solutions in spades, but not just baggies. Look at that. That's so good. I mean, you can keep the baggies if you want, but I'm digging the pieces here as well. That's very cool. You've got here Under the Rose, which is maybe just for this character. I'm not entirely sure how that works for cards. Triad module pieces. You've got the full circle pieces. And then you've got your actions, which could be action cards, holder or separator. And then you've got the rest, everything else goes in here. And then these are high quality bags too. They'll hold everything nice and neat. I love that. That's fantastic. And then underneath here, the back, you've got that same mysterious feel, which is great. And if you look carefully at the bottom of the box, you'll see that there is, in the distance, a distant rabbit. Get it? Because it's Distant Rabbit Games. Very nice. Well played. Very happy with that. That's fantastic. But this, my friends, the playmat itself is absolutely massive. I'll try and get a shot of that for you all. But this is literally the road out of town. Start of the road, and you follow it through. You start at the Sunset Diner and you make your way out of town, as you heard in the outset. But look at it. It's just so noir, neo-noir, awesome film noir, the grainy style. I love it. The fact that the text is sort of printed on and misprinted, because it is, 1940s, Mantis Falls. It's just, I knew the production was going to be great, but I am already very, very pumped to get this to the table and give it a good old crack. Let's have a look at some of the components, then we'll go through the cards. Now the buttons, again, I'm not entirely sure what the buttons are for. They could be health markers and trackers and things. There is, I think, total of, looks like I've got an extra one. There's 6, meant to be 6, and I've got 7 here. Whoops. Now I've got 6. Grab that one off the floor, because I don't want to lose any bits. But they are literally just red and black little buttons that you can use to track different parts on different cards and things, which is very, very simple. But something about wooden components, and that's the other thing that Distant Rabbit did here. They effectively have been carbon neutral with this. So I think it's all made from like recycled components, or they've planted trees, whichever the case may be. This is a carbon neutral game. They haven't, they've tried to make sure that they haven't destroyed any components, or been very, very kind to the planet that has given them the ability to create this game, which is awesome. Speaking of awesome, I have, oh my gosh, more. I'm dropping stuff everywhere. I'm so sorry, folks. I've got what looks like, oh gosh, I'm doing it again. I'm very tired today. I've had a couple of late nights playing some crazy ass games. So these look like little meeples. They're trees or roses, black roses. Black rose markers there. Can't really do them justice. I'm going to try and show you a little bit more without smacking the camera in the face, which I've just done. I'm so sorry. They're very cool. And a nice, thick, decent, tactile feel, which is awesome. I really dig that. Again, I am a massive fan of table presence, and I think this game has it in spades. We've got the individual movers here, and I believe this one, I think you can pick and choose which one you want to use. I don't think it matters too much, but I do like the idea of you know, the different coloured, toned the characters. In fact, they're screen printed, carrying the umbrella and the darkness of Mantis Falls as you make your way down the road. And the fact that the game starts at sunset, I mean, look at this guy. He looks all business, but could he be hiding a deeper, darker secret? Who knows? Who knows? My gosh. And then we've got here our lady friend walking home alone. Is she as innocent as she appears? Time will tell. Time will tell. Now, let's see. We've also got, these look like life trackers or score trackers here. These are thick. Really thick. Okay, so I think you've got here the first player marker, which has a distant rabbit on one side. Again, very nice. And then the Mantis Falls logo on the other side. And then you've got here these lovely little tiles, but on the front of them, you've got wound trackers. Now, these are marked with the individual characters you just saw. And you've got wounds, last gasps, all sorts of crazy stuff, which I really dig. I mean, look at that. And this has all been burnt in, etched in. It just looks fantastic. Talk about table presence. This has it in spades, and it's literally just a card game. So you talk about table presence. I mean, Nemesis is a huge, big production of a game that obviously takes up, you know, a massive amount of table space, but it looks epic when you have all the minis and things. This game, tiny little box, tiny little footprint, but what a presence. I love that. It's so great. It's really fantastic. All right, let's get through some of the cards. I won't necessarily know what all the cards are, having not yet played this one, so if I do make a mistake, please let me know. But at the same time, you know, it's recorded already, so I can't really go back and change it. I have got, what have I got here? I've got some life tracker cards, it looks like here. We've got life trackers for the different players, and then we've got some action cards. And then we've got ally cards, character cards, role cards, and then some reference cards for conserving energy, game end victory cards. Let's have a look at these ones. I think these are basically just to give you an idea of what everything does. Turn sequence, so there might be enough for one per player. Yep, turn sequence, a movement event, draw and draw. My gosh, I'm dropping everything today. Just bonkers, I tell you. Absolutely bonkers. Let's put that back in there. Very cool indeed. And then you've got the life trackers. So this is the life tracker version, I think, of the same. So this is the same as the wooden component here, but obviously you can use that or the wooden component. I know which one I would prefer, and I do like that. Again, they are in the same style and color of the playing pieces, which is bloody fantastic. They just look absolutely the business, and I'm all about it. Action cards now. We might actually put those with the other action cards, and I think there might be some other ally cards. And then we've got some character and role cards. So the role cards, you're going to get dealt one of those face down, and you will either, oh, they're blank, so you can make your own. Oh, that's cool. Jokers are wild. That's very handy. Must be some blank character cards, and maybe some blank ally cards, so you can really mix it up. I dig that. Maybe there's even some blank action cards in the different suits. So on your turn, when you play action cards, you can only play an action card from one group of suits, or action cards, I should say. So if you've got 2 royals, 1 lilac, and 3 hunters, and you decide to play a royal card, you can play any other royal card you have in your hand that turn. Which I'm digging. The Triad module, no, let's have a look at the action cards. Let's get through this and see how we go. I am going to whiz through the cards only because there's going to be some information there. Not that it's secretive, but at the same time, I mean, you can always pause the video if you want to have a look and see what's what. So the action cards, even the action cards, the titles just have that sort of feel. Criminal handcuffs, or it could be an ink spill, who knows. These are all action cards. Yep, fantastic. So let's have a look through those. And I do like the grain. Even though there's no tactile grain on the card, it's not a linen finish, it still looks bloody fantastic. Sometimes fatally wound another player. If you're at the end of the road and you're truly a witness, no bluffing, the other player receives 9 wounds and their wounds cannot be healed their turn. So if you think you've got the assassin you're playing against, you can play that at the end of the game to eliminate them if you are sure they are the assassin. But that could also cost you the game, because if they're a witness and you kill them, you both lose. Street Light Healer heals 2 of your wounds. Safe House. Killer, fatally wound another player. If the other player has at least 3 more wounds than you, they receive 9 wounds and cannot heal their wounds this turn. Now 9 is obviously the max you can have. Carbon, lots of damage. Call in a hit. So if you're the witness, you can be near a phone booth and call in a hit to effectively whack the other person if you think they're an assassin. A bit of teamwork, prevent another event. Strength in numbers, more strength in numbers. A private phone call, take ally cards. Pocket knife, deal 1 wound. Night owl, medicine, heal. Oh my gosh. I love the fact that if you're playing as a witness and you don't know the identity of the other person, you've got to then walk that fine line between keeping that other person alive and then at a moment's notice being able to kill them in one fell swoop, just in case they're going to take you out. But you will not know that until the end of the game, whereas if you're the assassin, you know what your objective is going to be. So it must be weird in a 3-player game if there's 2 witnesses and 1 assassin. Because as soon as someone casts suspicion on someone else, or if the cat's out of the bag, it's going to be 2 against 1. So you have to be very, very careful as the assassin in that case. And throw suspicion on other people. But then again, they don't necessarily know who the assassin is. They might take each other out. Bullets, baseball bat, whispers, more teamwork. And again, this is all different suits. So as to what I was mentioning before, you can only play cards that are in the same suit of the first card you play that round. Foresight, keep as a condition. Bus ticket, bullet bus ticket. Does it help you travel by bus? So you can move, if you're on a road with a bus stop that is either in the sunset or the night, move forward until you reach another bus stop. That could be handy. Bullet, baseball bat again, amalgam. Advantage, doesn't mean you get to roll another d20. Whispers, ricochet, reconsider, replace hands, quick thinking, private call, necessary sacrifice, sacrifice allies. Mole, look at top action play right after the other player places cards down as action. You may discard mole to look at the cards they've played. At least that'll tell you what their intentions are for the turn. Because in addition to the secret role, whether you're a witness or an assassin, you don't know necessarily the character they're playing. They could be a doctor, they could be, a banker, they could be, something else. They could be a hitman, who knows? We haven't looked at the actual characters. Cut wires, cats and dogs. Call in a medic. Heal with a hit. Whenever you wound the other player with call in a hit, heal 2 of your wounds. Wow. So there's incentive to actually do damage to another player as well, which I kind of like, kind of dig. Man, there's something about these sorts of games. I mean, Secret Hitler always appeals to me. I think it's fantastic. Werewolf, obviously, for obvious reasons too. But I think there's something about being able to play or have that experience that plays in a good hour or so, or even 90 minutes in some cases with this one. It's something about it. It's fantastic. I'm really interested in to see how this plays. And look, obviously, it's a bit hard to play this game solo for obvious reasons because you need at least one other person. But the fact that you don't need a veritable army to play this is just brilliant. So I've got here road cards, road at sunset, character cards, and I think there's some roles here as well. I saw, yes, there are 3 roles. So you use all 3 for every game regardless. We'll come back to those in a minute. In fact, you know what? Let's just do it. Why not? 3 roll cards, not the blank ones here. So you've got here, you are a witness. You are the bunny in the headlights. Watch your back, be wary, and survive. You are a witness, or you are an assassin. A person will be expecting you at a diner. They've seen the wrong thing, and it's imperative they die before making it out of town. Wait for your moment. Watch them die. Wow. Wow. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So you've got some character cards here. These are different roles that you can play. Not roles, not role cards, not witnesses. You know what I mean? Characters. Urbanite. Maximum wounds is 8. No special attributes. Urbanite. No special attributes. Maybe there's some more that we will come across as we go. We've got here Mrs. Rocco. So these are all ally cards. People you can recruit to assist you throughout the course of the game. Mrs. Rocco, the woman with a gun. Yep, want to get on her good side. Complete with 3. So you've got to get 3 ally cards to get a set, maybe? I'm not sure. Mr. Nash, the man with ideas. Mr. Edwards, the man with connections. What if he's got scissor hands? We'll see. And you get 4 of those. Miss Cardello, the woman with volition. Every time you draw at least 1 action card, draw an extra card and then discard one of those drawn. That's interesting too. I like that. Then we've got the road cards. So we've got here the road at sunset, road at night. Now these cards get dealt out randomly. So obviously the start of the road is the first one, and it has the sunset back. And then you've got here the start of the road. There's a phone booth there, there's a bus stop, and these relate to the event cards that you draw as to what happens. Sunset card, and as you see, sunset then becomes broken road. If you land here, go back one space. When you cross this road, take any action by the night. That's the road at night. And this is a night card again with a bus. We saw the bus card earlier. Ambush spaces. Ooh, that's nasty. You don't want to be on an ambush space where someone's out to get you. And then you've got the road at dark, which is obviously murky, murky black. And incredibly deadly. Again, ambush. Look at this guy here, waiting, lying in wait. Is he friend or foe? Who knows? End of the road. When you land here, take any action by the dark. You are now leaving Mantis Falls. Come back soon. I don't think so. Not if there's someone out to get me. Not at all. All right, let's have a look at some of these events, and then we'll go through the final deck. Now, the event cards, they are drawn, and if they're a seen event, it means it's public knowledge. If it's unseen, you can follow along with it, or you can do whatever the hell you like. You don't have to tell the truth. You can lie about it. That's totally fine. So we have got here, we'll have a look at the seen events first, and then we'll come back to the rest. So seen opposition, health 5, opposition not defeated, receive wounds, 2 divided among the players as you choose. Now opposition is anyone who's not on your side, so another ally or another player. So these obviously affect the number of road cards separating you and the other player. The red number is your health for this card, maybe. Number of condition cards controlled by you and the other player. Seen, health 1, receive wounds, health 4, opposition, red number. I'm not entirely sure how these work, but I do know that this comes up as public knowledge. So you obviously both get to see, or 3 of you get to see this card as it's played. And opposition defeated, nothing happens. Seen incident wire, both players receive 2 wounds. So you must have to split this up depending on how many players are in the game. Both players receive 2 wounds. Priorities, you receive 2 wounds. The other player must show you 3 of their action cards, their choice. The other player receives 2 wounds. Heal 1 yourself. Both players receive wounds equal to your yellow number, depending on where you are on the road. Wow. Both players receive 1 wound. You receive 2 wounds. Caught off guard. Both players receive the pleasure of the card. Wow. That's going to be really interesting. And then this is where it's going to get messy, but also beautiful, because you don't have to necessarily keep this. This is unseen, so you can keep this secret and lie about what's happening on the card. You can say whatever you like, or whatever information happens. So health is the yellow number of the card. So obviously this is dictated by where you are on the road itself. Health 6, gosh. Deal damage, opposition, more opposition cards. So these are similar cards to what we saw with the scene, but obviously they do like to cause trouble. Witch Hunt, both players return all their face down ally cards to their ally deck. Completed allies are not affected by this. That would suck if you were 1 away from getting that set of 4. The Whistling Wind, nothing. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. Tragedy. But does that mean nothing happens? How do you play that? All completed allies in play for both players are returned to the deck. Oh my gosh. How brutal do you want to play this? Other player must show you their cards. 2 wounds. Both players move forward 1 road, ignoring the effects of ambush spaces. Both players receive 1 wound. Oh my gosh. I know what I'm playing this weekend. So good. I don't care. If someone else doesn't want to play with me and I'm playing on my own, that's fine. I will just set it up and I will just pretend that I'm playing all of the people, and I will do it myself. It is not a problem. I've got here, let's see, the final deck of cards. We are nearly there at the end, folks. We've got here what looks like the module for the Triad, which is for the 3-player game. Supplemental cards needed to play Mantis Falls with 3 players. Witness roll card, action cards references required for 3-player games. So there could be 3 witnesses in the game, but you just will not know. Oh, wow. It talks about the setup and the new rules for the game that's listed in the rulebook, which is very, very handy. So I'm going to keep these cards separate. So we've got rolls. That's the extra witness card for this one. And it's actually marked with a little 3 triad symbol, which is very, very handy indeed. I'm going to put the events together here. Triad, there we go. And then we've got some more action cards. Now these could be very much duplicates but we'll have a look and see what we've got here. So we've got the Pact. Access to help. Whenever you reach maximum wounds, the bystander may give you one action from their hand. Marionette. Driver, move forward. Rider, bystander moves. Nightshade, Firestarter, Faith, Desertion. So maybe there's the witness, or you guys are both witnesses, and then there's this bystander who just happens to be there, who may not be who they pretend or who they say they are. I love that. Extra modules as well. That's right, I forgot about those. Triad reference. On your turn, bystanders to your left, active players are to you and the player to your right. On your turn, how that works, bystander can conserve energy, and then you've got what they can and can't do, and it's double-sided, which is fine. Then we have Under the Rose, and other modules. My goodness, different expansions and things you can use. So Under the Rose adds deck manipulation, powerful abilities for dramatic variation, best for use as a variant for advanced players, which I'm digging. Talks about the setup there, and then you've got the reference for Under the Rose, the value of buried cards, and then you've got meeting your agent. Oh my goodness, so you could potentially bury people. Under the Rose Horizon, and then we've got Under the Rose Sky. Wow. My goodness, that is a lot of crazy stuff. Kit, Bones, the Incendiary, the Steadfast, the Moonlighter. So these are advanced roles, I guess. I don't know. My gosh, I don't even know where to start with that. Let's put the Triad stuff there. I'm going to put Under the Rose there. And then we've got Full Circle. These are intricate cards that make the game more dynamic and fun. Include them as soon as you get the rules down. All games for experienced players. Character cards, action cards, ally cards. Add the character cards, action cards, and ally cards to respective decks. That's pretty straightforward. So we've got actions here, we've got allies, and then we've got characters. This is where the other characters come in. Obviously we have the nondescript ones, the Urbanites. So if we look at these ones here, the character cards, we have the Pugilist, who has 9 wounds during your last gasp action plays. You receive no heal wounds from the doctor's bag. Another Pugilist, Doctor. During your last gasp action plays, heal an additional wound for yourself anytime you are healed by the doctor's bag. Wow, definitely just mixes it up a little bit, which I'm digging. I do like the fact that you can play the blank Urbanite cards, but I don't know if there's something about all of this crazy. So let me have a look at some ally cards here. So we've got here Mr. DeVarco, the man with familiarity, and he requires 2. Mr. Barnes, the man with admittance. Miss Arietta, the woman with a camera, she requires 4. At either player's draw phase, you may return Mrs. Arietta to the ally deck to draw 10 action cards. Wow. Pick and choose, you're crazy. I love that. All right, and then we've got all the action cards, which obviously are now a more plentiful, bountiful deck. The Well. Can you chuck people down there? My gosh. Spyglass. Plan Ahead, the artwork is awesome. Fence. Solicit a Favor. So much more thematic. Sanctuary. Pied Piper. Heal your wounds. Contention. Does that mean you can potentially die at the end? If any turn ends with you at the end of the road, move your gasp marker to 3. You die instantly. Wow. Tar. Repetition. Copy a card. Reckless Abandon. Duck. Smoke Bomb. Plan Ahead. Curtains. Betrayal. Oh yeah, so we saw that one in the other. Affliction. Play until death. The game is not over until one or more players are dead. Wow. Forsaken. And then the Chameleon. Mimic a different card. Wow, wow, wow. I love it. It's so... Some of those cards just add that much more theme to an already great game. Look, that's it for the contents of the box. The sleeves are generic sleeves. There's nothing really special about them other than that they were in the box. We'll talk about this, come on out and give you some final thoughts. And there it is, the contents of Mantis Falls by Distant Rabbit Games. I love the Distant Rabbit on the back of the box. It is fantastic. The production on this one, on what is effectively a simple card game for 2 to 3 players, bloody fantastic. They've knocked it out of the park. The sepia tones, the noir tones, the theme of the game is fantastic. I haven't played it yet, obviously, but at the same time, I am itching to get this to the table. The playmat, the sleeves, the cards, the extra modules, the fact that once you've done with the base game, there's what, 3 extra modules you can add in for crazy adventures. I'm digging that. That is fantastic. And for what it cost me, I mean, yes, okay, there's shipping costs and everything else, and there was delays, but I think it was like, what, $32? That's it. So for a 2-player game, this is going to hit the table a lot. I'm digging this. Those social deduction games that I love, like Secret Hitler, Werewolf, Growl, I love that. But being able to find players to play is bloody hard because they always work better with a bigger number, whereas here, 2 is it. That is it. And I love the fact that every time you play, you're always going to be wondering how much can I trust this person, and that is fantastic. I will let you know how we go. As I said at the outset, if you've played this one, please, please, please let us know in the comments below what your thoughts, how your experience went with this. Were you an assassin? Were you a witness? Have you always been a witness? Have you always been an assassin? How did you go? Did you manage to get out of Mantis Falls alive, or are you buried somewhere in a hole 6 feet deep? I cannot wait to get this to the table. I'm super excited about it, as you can tell. Thank you to all our Patreon subscribers for being able to, allowing us to do all the fun stuff that we get to do here on GameLink. We'll see you back at the table for some more fun and adventures. We have some great stuff coming up for you as well as we head towards Christmas, including a couple of games specifically for our junior gamers. But we'll see you back at the table very soon for more fun, adventures, and playtime. Until then, though, go out there, play games, be social, be kind to each other, and we'll see you back there very soon. Cheers. Bye for now.